I'm Mel Stewart, and this is a GMM podcast. Joining me today, we have 8-time Olympic medalist Regan Smith. Coleman Hodges is also coming on. He's offering support. If you don't know Coleman does all our interviews on deck for SwimSwam, and he produces Practice Bus Pancakes. Internally, we're kind of asking ourselves, there's been a lot of topics across the sport of swimming. USA Swimming has announced the Short Course World Championship Trials, a brand new event. The USOPC is limiting who can train there and who can't train there, pushing foreigners out, at least during a specific year. We have a new CEO at USA Swimming, a relatively new CEO, and he stepped in and he immediately increased the compensation to national team members. So a lot's been happening. And Regan's swimming fast. And we were wondering, what does Regan think? Which should probably be the title of this podcast. And the series that she should be probably producing herself, What Does Regan Think? So she comes in and she tells us what she thinks. And it's kind of fun. And I hope you enjoy it. Regan Smith. What were we talking about, Regan? We're talking about hair tonics and all the drugs that you'll have when you're in 30 years to keep you young.
Yes. Well, yeah, I just have such fine, thin hair and the chlorine does numbers on it. So yeah, I need to take advice from you. What to do.
Do you have products? Yeah. Do you have a routine?
I do. I'm like so low key with it, but this is like such a niche topic for us to be talking about right now. But
this is swimming.
Ever since moving here to this apartment that I'm in Austin, love this apartment by the way, but I have never been in this hard of water in my whole life. Like it's really crazy. It's really bad for my skin and my hair. And so my hair just looks like crap every single day, if I'm being honest. So I'm trying to like change my product and see if I can help. Like it's just bad, but.
Do you have a clarifying shampoo?
I do. I use it twice a week.
Okay, use twice a week. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so interesting. This is something we don't talk about in swimming, but maybe we should more. You mentioned the hard water, and I was going to ask you about being in ASU in the desert where it's so dry, and now in Austin it's so wet,
humid.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like the complete opposite. But
yeah.
You notice a difference not only in the air but in the water.
In the water. Yeah. I think too, it's my specific complex. My apartment complex just has like incredibly hard well water. But yeah, my hair looked so much better in Arizona because my hair frizzes up like nobody's business. Even if I put product in it, it doesn't really help it. So every day I just felt really pretty and effortless in Arizona. And now here I like crash out a lot more over my hair. I had a meltdown to my dad on the phone on Saturday. We don't need to get into it, but yeah.
About your hair.
Yeah, about my hair.
You can't drop that and then not share it.
No, I've been there. I recently, this is maybe TMI, I had like a mole like right here.
Yeah.
Like it was growing. So I had to go to a dermatologist and like be like, what's up? And they're like, yeah, we need to remove that. And they're like, we might have to like shave part of your hair. And I'm like, am I going to have to go bald now?
Oh,
like
God.
I had a total freak out because I'm like,
totally.
Oh no, it worked out. It was fine. But
thank goodness.
It matters.
It matters. It's your identity. It's completely your identity. I get you.
I thought it wasn't false when the what's this pudding hit the pavement? You know what I'm trying to say. I crumpled.
Yeah.
My identity.
Totally. I've never heard pudding hit the pavement.
No, what's the phrase, Mel?
I don't know. It's
something
really
hits the pavement when it's like when stuff gets real, you know?
Yes.
When like you actually have to be faced with it.
Yeah, when you face the music.
I'm vain. That's
no, you're not. You're human. I'm the same.
No one ever knows, Coleman. There are people who have no affiliation with swimming, and they will email me and they want to know who you are because they think you should have your own series called the Hair Olympics because you change your hairstyle so much.
You do have good hair, Coleman.
I try. I try to keep it fresh.
Yeah, if anybody's dropping into this podcast, they're going to be really like, "What's going on?"
I know this is an odd start.
This is I'm not saying this is a bad start, but it's not the best.
It's unique.
We asked you on for a specific reason. We wanted to recap the Austin Pro Swim because it's just like, this feels like we're in the middle of the quad and Regan's popping off. So let's just get to it. 100 fly, 56.1, 50 back, 27.6, 200 fly, 205.2. It's all early in season. You know, where you at in training? How you feeling about it?
It was a great meet. It was a lot of fun. It was night and day difference from US Open the month prior. And I feel like my performances should have been flip-flopped. So like going into US Open, we'd had a great bulk of training at OTC, but then we got a decent amount of rest for it, to be honest with you guys. Like I got a week and a half probably. I even lightened up lifts a little bit. So I was ready to go very fast at US Open. And then I completely, but shit the bed. Like it was just rough. And my body felt terrible the whole time. It's just like none of the stars aligned at US Open. It was just a rough experience. And then going into this past tier pro, we had gotten our butts kicked in Christmas training. The load was very heavy. The meet started Wednesday, right? And that was the 100 back the first day. Monday afternoon, we did like a 7,500 yard color set, a very hard, intense color set. I'm swimming next to Jillian Cox, who does the mile. And I'm like, I have the 100 back in 48 hours. Like, what am I doing? And then we lifted on Tuesday, had a full lift, or full-ish. I would say 80% for me. And so I went into Wednesday being like, I'm going to have the bar set really low because I don't know. And I did great. And my body felt super fresh. And like, I never really felt like I fatigued even as I got further through the weekend. So it was a very odd change from US Open to this meet. I didn't have a ton of speed. So I wasn't thrilled with the 50 back at all. And I'm really trying to like lock that in more. And so that was my worst race by far, I would say. But yeah, I was thrilled to be 57 in the 100 back. The 100 fly I thought was great as well. 2 fly I was very happy with. Yeah. So it was an A+ weekend for me.
Can you put into context, week and a half, 10-day taper? Is that a drop taper? Is that a real taper? What's a full taper?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll have the context. What's a full taper? What's a US Open experience you had? And then once the like, oh my God, it's Monday and I'm doing this 7,500 color set and I got a meet with semis on Wednesday.
Yeah. That's a good question because I feel like sometimes I can swim. So the US Open, I would say, was more of a drop taper, but it was also kind of funky because I went home for Thanksgiving break. And so training kind of got disrupted naturally that way anyways. So I think I got a little bit more rest even because, when you go home, things just aren't going to be as good as they would be in your normal training environment. And I didn't have access to a gym or anything. So I was lifting in my parents' basement with their dumbbells and stuff. But a real taper, like for a summer world championship meet or something, it's like I still keep my yardage up for a long time. Like I drop yardage probably the last 4 or 5 days before the meet, but it just is a lot less intense overall for like, I would say when we get to training camp before a world starts. So whenever like we make the trek over to wherever we're going to be for the next 2.5, 3 weeks, that's when the intensity starts to drop, but the yardage stays relatively high. So yeah, US Open was more of a drop taper and then the tier pro was 0. But I know I've historically been able to swim well when I'm tired. Like, I feel like that's kind of like my thing at this point. Like, I'm able to just kind of get up and go. But yeah, I don't know. It was very strange comparing it to US Open. I just felt like I was in a hole at US Open. So it was odd.
I dropped semis and you're working hard. You're lifting on Tuesday. You get semis. You get a pro swim with semis, or do you like whatever? It's semis. I'm an elite. I can handle semis. I think. Where do you stand on it?
Yeah, was that weird?
What's going through your mind?
Yeah. So the only event that I had semis in was in the 50 back. So I didn't even really have semis, to be honest with you. I understand where they're coming from with adding semis, but I struggle with the idea of it because, in my opinion, our trials meets are already really long and exhausting and mentally taxing. And so like our summers are difficult, right? Because you have to really lock in for the qualification meet and then lock in again like a month later for Worlds or Pan Pacs or whatever it is, Olympics. And so I like, in my opinion, having a more lax season and still getting up and racing at tier pros and whatnot. But I think adding semis just taxes you more. And on the one hand, I think that was their argument. It's like, well, we want to prepare you. But on the other hand, I don't want to feel like burnt out is a severe word, but for lack of a better word, like burnt out by the time you get to the end of the season. Do you know what I'm saying? Kind of.
Yeah.
I saw some friends. I'm not going to say who they were. They're powerful. They're powerful friends. And
that's friends.
And they said, "All right, did you go to the session?" They were referring to sessions, and I said, "No, I went to the dentist. It's shorter and less painful."
Yeah.
And they about fell out of the table. They were like dying. I talked to some coaches. I talked to some elite coaches, talked to some elite athletes. And I said, what do you think? And they said, we like it in theory, but is this something that we should do? Maybe we should offer one pro swim with semis as a test run, and you can go or not go.
Yeah.
And they're like, that might be a solution. We understand that we want our athletes to be battle hardened, battle tested. Someone I didn't talk to is Bob. I wonder if I say, hey, Bob, what do you think about this? I wonder if Bob's like, it's meaningless. You just need to hammer everybody in practice and get them ready.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I haven't asked that question.
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that either. But
yeah, but I think Bob prepares you guys in practice, like famously.
Yeah.
Like the kind of work you do, the sets you do, just the format of practice is kind of, I guess, this preparing you for these long meets with semifinals.
Very much. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm well prepared enough by the time I get to the end of season meets. I don't personally feel like I need it, but I do understand that I'm not everyone. So I'm trying to see both sides, and I don't just want to like openly shit on it. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cussing. I feel like I do that every time I talk to you guys. So.
This is a podcast system more adult than anything else. I mean, shit, what you're going to say, I didn't want to spend too much time on this, but it's seeing how you're performing. I thought that 56-100 fly, I was like, ooh, that's great. I like that.
Yeah.
So I think what anyone who's a Regan Smith fan is looking at this going, hey, should Regan focus just on backstroke, or should she, should we swim in all these other events? She can do anything. Regan can do a lot. I see you swimming fast and fly, and I get excited. For you, is it good to have to blow off some steam, to train other events? What's the calculus behind swimming other events?
Yeah, it's definitely what you said. It's awesome to blow off steam. I think I can get event fatigue when I do the same things over and over. And a good example of that is at the Tier Pro in Westmont, Bob and Eric had entered me in just fly and backstroke events. And I had done it for like 3 weeks straight at World Cup. And then I did all fly and back at US Open. And then I did all fly and back at the Tier Pro just a couple weeks ago. And so I was like, hey, could I work some different muscle groups? And so they agreed to put me in the 2 free and the 4 IM. So spoiler alert, that's what I'll be doing at Westmont. But anyways, yeah, I understand the argument for like wanting me to focus on backstroke. And I'm always like primarily focused on backstroke, like 100%. But I like fly. Fly's my favorite stroke by far. And I'm really torn sometimes. Like sometimes I want the opportunity to do the 100 fly internationally. And I know that I wouldn't win it. Like I'm not trying to like rival Gretchen or anything, but like I just like it. Like I think, I'm in swimming because I like it. It's my career, but also it's fun. And like I like doing things that I really enjoy doing. So I have a lot of fun with that event. So yeah, I don't want to keep rambling and saying the same things over and over. But yes, basically I just enjoy blowing off steam and changing things up. And since in Bob's group, we train everything, I may as well swim more than just one thing,
When is the last time you swam the 400 IM?
It was US Open 2023. Yeah, I went 438. Yeah, I've done it 3 times ever. So Westmont prelims will be my 4th swim ever. And then if I make finals, it'll be my 5th. So
Bob loves 400 free and 400 IM, 4 anyone who's dominant on the world stage in 200s. He loves hammering you. He loves, what did he say to me? He goes, you train the 400 free for 200 free, you train 400 free for 200 fly or 400 IM. And, you train it. Maybe you pick up a medal, but you're bulletproof in your event, in your 200. That's the way he described it to me. Is that sort of inside baseball with you and Bob?
Not that he's ever explained to me, because I feel like he and I have always had the relationship where he just gives the practices and I'm like, great, because I trust him and I trust his philosophy. So that, what you just said checks out. But I just, honestly, I'm the puppet. I feel like that's what works the best. I just do what he gives me. And if I trust it, then I'm confident and then I swim fast with it. But yeah, like you saying that about the 4 free, I would love an opportunity to do a good 4 free too. Because when I was 17, I went like 410 and I haven't been able, I've rarely done it since then, but we do so many great color sets, long course and short course. Like I would love the opportunity to do like a good one, but yeah, I don't know. He just prepares us to do so many different events so well.
Have you ever popped off a time in practice? Like, I don't know. You said you went 4:10 at 17. Have you been faster than 4:10 in practice since then?
No.
Or have you ever done anything weird? You ever done anything weird in practice? You're like, that was stupidly fast.
That would be.
No one knows about it.
There's there's been some times where we'll do like some 200 efforts at the end of a color set, and up at altitude, when I was like really in a hole one day, I still ended up going like a 204 at the end of like this 8K colors practice, which I think is pretty dang good. Like from a push, like, yeah. So I was really, really proud of that. I think I'm like a very solid trainer, but I'll rarely do something that's like, holy crap. Like, I think I'm just pretty across the board. I'm like thumbs up, but I'm not like, oh my God, did you see that? So I don't know.
Do people fear you in practice? Or they're like, oh man, there's Reagan. She's going to grind me down. No,
I don't know. Maybe depending on what the practice is, but nah. And like probably not compared to like now that summer's here too. I think people are more like, oh, here comes summer. So
let me say, I was there after US Open for a fly practice. And you were racing Jack Kelly, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, you guys were neck and neck the whole time. And granted, he's a breaststroker, but he was doing fly with you. And you were right there with him.
Well, thanks. Jack, I am so impressed with Jack because when Jack came to this program, he had never done anything like what we do in his entire life. And he's a very talented swimmer, like so good, but he had never done that amount of yardage. From my understanding, he did primarily like breaststroke work. And so he hadn't touched much on his other strokes. And so if he had done that set that you filmed, Coleman, if he had done that in like September, I don't think he would have been able to complete it. And so he has gotten better like at such an exponential rate. So I have to be honest with you, like when he was doing that well, I was kind of like, damn, like he's really like making me run for my money. You know what I mean? So it was really interesting, but yeah, his like trajectory has been very, very impressive. But yeah, that was a brutal set.
If you know,
I liked the subtext of what she said. The expectation was that you would hammer him, that you would beat him. The expectation is
that was my goal.
He's a breaststroker. Come on.
Still, it's just I just like the expectation. I don't want to gender anything here, but I'm gendering it. The expectation was that you'd beat him.
Well, because I think he would have expected that too. Like I think going into the set, because I remember even when Bob handed him the practice, he was like, "Sorry, Jack, like you got to do this today," and I think, I don't know, he's just very good at being like, oh, well, I'm going to just go for it and see what happens. And I think he probably surprised himself too that day. He did great, but yeah.
And so, I mean, if you're listening and you don't know, so Jack Kelly swam for Brown University, again, primarily a breaststroker. He said, hey, I'm going to give it one more shot, try to be a pro swimmer and just see what I can do. And then came to Bob Bowman if I'm able to be like, hey, I want to be a pro swimmer. And I mean, he's gone 59 in the 100-meter breaststroke. I mean, which at this point, he could make a world champ team in a year or could vie for an Olympic spot in 2 years, given, again, the trajectory and what he's doing in training. But it's kind of a crazy story. Yeah. Especially given the context you've added of, he didn't really do this kind of work because the practice I was there for that day, like, it was like 3 50s fly all out on 50 and then into 100 free on a minute into 3 more 50s fly. It was something like that.
Yeah, it's a set that's not everyone's friend. You know, like I think some people excelled a lot more at that set than other people did, depending on, you know, your genetic background and your training background and just things like that. And yeah, I think going into that, he was probably like, okay, like I might swim this straight. And he did not. Like he did so well on that set. So yeah. But that was good background on him. Coleman.
Way off topic. 100 breaststroke at the Olympics in Paris. So slow.
It was the men's.
That was a wild.
Was they all? Did they all have COVID?
I am so sorry. I'm like so bad with remembering men's events specifically.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it was slow. Everybody was kind of wondering were they sick or not. But it was just, it's the Olympics. Sometimes the Olympics is a slow heat.
Yeah.
59.0 won it. I have a breaststroke question though. Speaking of you swimming the 400 IM, I'm just curious, do you think if you trained breaststroke for a year, if you did a Jack Kelly program and just focused on breaststroke, world record 200 IM,
No.
the end of the season?
Nope.
Bullshit.
No.
Bullshit.
I can't go 205. I cannot go 205. I
What's your
promise
What's your best
you guys
time?
that.
208?
208.4. And I'm
what was
out
your breaststroke split?
39.6 or 8
that's
or
good.
something.
I mean, I would
But I
have guessed
haven't
40, but
Yeah, I haven't been 39 since going that time. I've now been like 40.2 or something.
okay.
But and I train breaststroke. That's the sad thing. Like every Tuesday we do active rest, like 4 IM work. Sometimes it's long course, sometimes it's short course, but I do like a lot of breaststroke. And every week Bob's just like, all right, like do your best. And I remember like one day a couple weeks ago, it was a Tuesday practice and we ended with 1200s and it was like a 50 pace and then a 50 easy on like a combined interval of 140 or something. And the first 4 of them were at pace +1, then it was next 4 were at pace, and then it was pace -1. And since I don't really do the 4 IM, it was just like strong, stronger, strongest for me.
Yeah.
But my first 4 felt so easy. I was like 40.8 or something. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get down to like 38, maybe even 37 by the end of this. Like, hell yeah. And then I sat there at 40.5 to 8 the whole time. And all it did was get harder and harder. And I was trying harder. And then I was just going the same time. And then on like number 10, I think I went 39.8 and Bob was so happy and screamed it out loud for me to hear. And I was thrilled. But it was such a frustrating practice. And that's my whole identity with breaststroke. I try harder and then I go slower.
I wonder if you're a breaststroke, you put more effort in and you start going like this.
Yeah, I would say that's probably true. Just no part of it makes any sense to me, like anatomically or anything. Like, yeah, I keep trying.
So if you were going to take a sabbatical from backstroke and butterfly and say, listen, this year I'm only training breaststroke, do you have a coach or athlete you would go to be like, teach me the way? Like Kate Douglas, anyone who's ever been like, yes, you understand this obviously, and I don't.
I think Kate would be a bad option because it's so easy and like thoughtless to her. And she's so good at DPS. Like her and I some opposites. So I think she would just be like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like this is
She'd be like, just do what I do.
Yeah, I'd be like, I
can't.
can't. Oh gosh, I don't know. But also I think that like I see what you're getting at, but I also think if I like training all 4 strokes, I think too makes me better at my best strokes and then at my weakest strokes. But God, who I would ask? Like I don't know who would be good at like breaking down the stroke to me. Maybe I don't know.
You're saying all breaststrokers are bad teachers.
No, I mean I think
or you don't.
I think sometimes good swimmers are bad teachers just because it's so intuitive to you that you have a hard time conceptualizing it to others.
I think that is good insight.
There's a reason why we don't have a lot of Olympians.
There's a reason why a lot of mediocre swimmers are good coaches.
Yeah, because they get it, right? They get how to play.
Or coaches who or swimmers who were just on the bubble, like they were 14, 15, 16 in NC2As, or yeah.
They had to learn. They had to like get it and make it make sense for them, and then they can teach that to others. But
Totally.
That's funny because I think sometimes when it comes intuitively, like you've never thought about, oh, how do I do that, or why does that work for me? It's just like it does.
Yeah, like one of my friends was asking me just the other week how I like do my backstroke pull, and she was like, "Do you pull forward or do you pull down?" And I was just like, I don't even know what you're asking. Like, I don't know. And she was like, well, just think about it. And then even when I was thinking about it, it was almost just like I needed to flip a coin and be like, okay, it's this. And so I don't know.
Well, and then when you start thinking about it, it can like mess you up. And then I'm like, stop. No, don't. I don't want to think about it.
Exactly. Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
All right. Well, fair enough. I'll get off the breaststroke kick. Training
Okay.
4 strokes
Set me free.
We'll leave it at that.
This feels like talent privilege.
That's good.
Earned over a long period of time, right? Yeah, you've done your 50,000 hours.
Exactly.
I've got my 50,000 hours. Don't ask me this.
Well, you're going to Westmont. You're swimming some exciting events, which is cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you know your comp schedule for the rest of the season? Is there a meet that you've got circled that you're very excited for? I mean, not Pan Packs, that doesn't count.
Yeah. We're going to the Fort Lauderdale Open. It's the same week that the Tier Pro was last year, so like end of April, beginning of May. And I'm just so much happier swimming outside and being on the beach and getting a tan. Like, I'm just the best version of myself. So I'm very excited. I just bought my flights the other day. And you know how like on Delta, it'll say like, oh, X days until check-in. It said like 88 or something. I was like, okay, like the countdown's on. I can't wait. So yeah, I'm very excited for that.
We were talking to the coach who's managing that event long ago, and he's like, it's not going to be a pro swim. How do we do this? And I'm like, just reach out to the elite teams and they'll come, because everybody wants to go to that meet, and the timing of it's perfect.
Yes, it's the best pool ever.
The interesting thing was the business model, something that we don't think about, athletes didn't think about. You have to pay a licensing fee for it to be a pro swim, and then you have to split the registration fees. So if it's not a pro swim for him, he doesn't have to pay a licensing fee, and he doesn't have to split the fees with USA Swimming. So suddenly it becomes a revenue stream and an earner for that team.
Okay, great.
Struggle, they need to make money.
Yeah.
I was just thinking USA Swimming needs to figure out how to really make the pro swim a value add.
Definitely.
The one question was, he feels like, I've got to figure out how to create prize money. And I go, I think you should. You really should take that task on and try to find individual sponsors that would per event. And he's working on that, but it could take a few years. He's trying to develop the Fort Lauderdale Open. But not having it, the fact that they don't have prize money now, does it make much of a difference?
Yeah. No, not for me.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were like, yeah, it does make a difference.
Oh, yeah. I was just like, good question. No. Yeah. For me, the draw is the destination.
Well, I mean, I've talked about this. I've talked about this meet to anyone who would listen over the past 8 months, because that was hands down the best meet of the season last year.
Oh, best. Yes. The vibes are so good. Everyone's just happy, having a good time, swimming pretty fast. It's the best.
I mean, 3 world records.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like across the board, yes, everyone's like looking pretty good. It's 100 feet away from the beach.
Yes.
Do you
we need more.
Beach?
Yeah.
You do go to the beach.
Well, last year I went on Saturday before the meet started. My first day of racing was Thursday. So I got there 4 days early, 5 days early, whatever, with Kate. And so we had like a little mini vacation. Yeah. This year that won't fly, but yeah, I got to do it last year, and I absolutely went to the beach. A happy swimmer is a fast swimmer.
But what's it mean, go to the beach? Do you like go to the beach and just play? Do you go to the beach and
do you ever feel awkward like getting into a body of water and being like, I'm not swimming laps, what do I do?
Sometimes I don't want to go into the water when I don't have to, because like we're wet all the time. But I like playing in the waves. Granted, Florida doesn't really have like super wavy beaches, but I like tanning. I like just talking to friends. I'm like a lizard at heart. Like, I love just sitting in the sun and baking. I don't really get hot super easily. I'm always cold. So I just like to sit and roast, honestly. And I put my sunscreen on. Like, it's not about like the tanning. It's just like the warmth that I really like.
Is this because of where you grew up?
I don't know, you guys. Like, I think partially, like, I didn't know what I was missing until I moved away. And now my blood is so thin and cold all the time. And I never took it for granted living in Arizona. I adored swimming in 110-degree weather. Like, I loved it. I never really got too hot. And now being here in Texas, it's still a great situation overall. Like, it's pretty warm all year round, but it's not as like warm and hot all the time as it was there. And so I'm so grateful for it and want to like scoop up any opportunity that I can get.
We just went through a deep freeze, and like I'm in my house, and my wife from Southern California, and it's 90 degrees in the house right now because she's cranked the heat up because it's cold. And I'm like, it's not cold. Like I have not stopped wearing shorts this entire past week.
That's hilarious.
So, I'll wear a puffy jacket and shorts, but I'm in shorts. I was wondering about you. I'm wondering, it's like, you with your background, is it like, are you making fun of Austinites when it's cold?
I was at first, but okay, not because it was cold. It was when people were freaking out about the snow that was coming. I was like, give me a break. And then last Monday morning, I actually didn't go to practice because the roads were so icy. So Lindsay and I, we woke up, looked outside of our building, and there was a crash right outside of our building because it was just so icy and people here don't know how to salt the roads or anything like that. So they're just like really not prepared at all. And I was like, okay, my Toyota's a lease and I'm under contract. I don't really want to total this car. So I'm going to stay home. So yes, I think I ignorantly like look down on people who freaked out about cold and snow and ice here until now kind of living through it. I was like, okay, I understand because nobody here is equipped for it like at all.
Are you a Toyota athlete?
Yeah, I am.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I'm so happy. I had my very first car when I got my license. It was a Nissan Rogue and I adored that car. But it was like the basic model. And so it didn't have any of the bells and whistles on it, like no heated seats, no cruise control even. And so now I have a 2025, like fully loaded RAV4. And I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like there's so many buttons that I've just never even had experience with before. And it's been so fun. So I'm very grateful.
Do you mind, is being a Toyota partner having a Toyota, or is it like, is there media? Is there, what's it like?
It's pretty chill. They give us the car and then I do like one appearance with them per year. And so last year I signed autographs for them at their little like Aqua Zone World Champ Trials. And then I just have to like post Toyota affiliated content on my like social medias occasionally. So it's very chill and it's pretty organic. So I like it. It's been a really great partnership.
Those are the best partnerships.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Definitely.
No, it just feels like it's not a huge footprint in your life. You're trying to prepare. You're always trying to be great or the best version of yourself. And I know that some companies can really, they want to take a big footprint in your life. That's not easy.
Yeah, definitely. And I also like my brand and my authenticity is really important to me. And I don't like seeing other people, like when they post and you can just tell that it's branded contractual content and it's just not authentic and it just seems like it's a script and whatever else. So that's never something that I want to be really associated with. And so I feel like the people who I'm aligned with don't really do that. But yeah.
Remind us who you're with. You're with Toyota, Speedo?
Toyota, Speedo, Omega, Foslam School, Nulo Pet Food, and I have them all in my bio. Hang on, because I don't want to miss anyone.
Reagan's going to her bio because she's trying to remember all of her sponsors.
So many.
I got everyone. I have 5.
How do you know you're talking to somebody with a whole lot of Olympic medals? They have to go to their bio.
I just didn't want to leave anyone behind.
This is not you're very kind, but I just want to point that out. This is not the experience of 99% of the national team, but you've earned it. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I think I've worked really hard to be to where I am today. And it's also crazy to think, like, when I think about where I stand in the national team, I feel like the only people who have really been on the national team longer than me are people like Katie and Simone. And so that's really crazy to think about too. And so sometimes I, don't feel deserving of like the really fortunate position that I'm in terms of, sponsorships and exposure in the sport. But then I'm like, hang on, like this is my 10th year that I've been like on the national team. That's so crazy. Like I have a lot of experience, I guess. And is notoriety the right word? I don't know. But it's really cool when I put it into perspective like that. Yeah.
You're a totally different dynamic from people who were young on the national team when you're a child and you're trying to just kind of move with the pack, and where you're at right now, being a leader and having all this experience. I know that you're always trying to probably say, hey, younger national team members, this is what's going on. And this is what you have to look out for. And this is what you have to do. It felt like my experience was I got a lot of mentorship from the older swimmers.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. And it's crazy how quickly it happens. Like, I remember when I was 15, 16, 17, I thought that the girls like Kathleen and Olivia and Leah Smith and Simone and all the girls in that generation, Abby Whitesell, I thought that they were so grown up and so much older than me. And now that I'm like older than they were when I first met them, I still feel, I know I'm not a kid. I'm almost 24, but I feel like a kid. Like, and then I look at people like Audrey and Riley, who are now on the national team, and they are like actual children. Like they're so young, but I still don't view them as that much younger than me but then I put myself in their shoes and I'm like, I bet that they view me as like so like old and like grown up, because that's the way that I viewed. It's just so weird to think about. It really blows my mind. But anyways, yeah, I try to be the person for them that specifically people like Kathleen and Olivia were to me, just because they were the backstrokers. So yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy that you spent 10 seasons on the national team, or this is your 10th.
Yeah. This is my 10. Yeah.
I mean, that's
so crazy.
Insane. This was another question that I was curious about. You mentioned Simone, you mentioned Katie. Obviously you get to train with Simone and see her every day. They're almost 30 and they're kicking butt.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're going some of the fastest times they've ever went in their career now.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we've hardly ever seen that with swimmers, certainly with women in swimming. What's the secret? I mean, you get Simone kicking butt every day, but how are they doing this?
Yeah, I'm so passionate about this topic. And I really think the only reason why the like median or mean age for peaking is because of like limited financial opportunities to keep doing your sport, or you just don't want to put yourself like through the physical turmoil and emotional, honestly. But I feel like another good example of girls who like defied those odds would be like the women's gymnastics team in Tokyo and Paris, right? Like we saw, I mean, like Simone and Ali Raisman and like all those girls were in like their mid to late 20s, right? I believe. And I feel like, I truly feel like you can peak at an older age, like if you want to, because you're still really truly at your physical peak. Like you get stronger, I think, as you go through your 20s, and then maybe it starts to decline in your 30s. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. But I really do think it's all mindset based. And I think it's just like changing not the stigma, but like the way that people think that things should go, and just being like, well, it doesn't have to go this way. So I think it's really inspiring, just because like I don't want to stop swimming anytime soon, but I also don't want to think that I'm past my prime. Like I really don't. And I think they're two prime examples of that. And I look at so many other sports where women do peak in their mid to late 20s. Like I had the pleasure of meeting Uta Leerdam, who's like oh my gosh, what country is she from? I'm like actually blanking so bad, but she's the speed skater. Is she Danish? I can't remember. But anyway, she's like 26 or 27. And I remember when I met her in Paris in 24, she was mentioning how all the girls in her sport like peak in their late 20s. And she was like, yeah, so I got silver in Tokyo, or not Tokyo, excuse me, whatever the games in 2022 were. I'm so ignorant with Winter Olympics. But anyway, so she was like, yep, got silver there, but I'm going for gold here in Milan coming up in 26, which is like any day now. So I don't know. It's cool to see women in their mid to late 20s, even early 30s, who are like, I guess, proving mainstream opinions wrong.
It sounds like a really hard intention to go through Brisbane 3032. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I remember right after Paris, I was 100% like, yes, I would like to keep doing this for 8 more years, go through then. And I still feel that way, but I do think even back then I was saying like, if all of the stars align and everything goes right, I'm still absolutely loving it. And I would greatly lower my like event load. Like I think I would only do the 50 back and the 100 back, but also like we're going to see who keeps coming up here, as we'll see. But yeah, I think long story short, if all the stars aligned, I would absolutely love to do like the 50 and 100 back there, and maybe the 100 fly. Who knows if Gretchen's decided
50 fly.
Yeah, I'm in there. No, I don't,
50
I don't know if I can
breast.
do that. Yes. I'm going to spend all of 2029 working on breaststroke.
Listen, it could happen. You're seeing it. Anyway, no, it's been really cool to see all these females keep going and just have so much success. And
definitely,
we hope that trend continues.
Me too.
I want to come back to that. You were talking about being 10th year on the national team, and you're in this. You're in a different position. You're the veteran. Got a lot of you have age and wisdom. You said something in our last podcast. You were vocal about the finances of USA Swimming, and interestingly. And the APA was increased. I don't know if anyone told you or you saw that, but it was increased. You have to feel good about that. And you have to.
Yeah, I do. I'm really grateful for that. It's really awesome to see. And so, yeah, it means a lot to me. And so I don't want to like throw a wrench in anything here, because I'm very grateful for the position that I'm in. but I know that they just kind of like reallocated funds. And so I think some people lost funding altogether when that happened. Like people who are even still on the national team don't have that stipend anymore. And that I struggle to feel okay with. But at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, what solution is the best solution if they ultimately only have this much money and people are putting pressure on them to increase the stipend? Like, what are they supposed to do? I don't know. So I have a lot of really mixed feelings about it. I'm very grateful for myself, but I have a lot of like mixed feelings for some other people who are still trying to, train and make ends meet every day. So
it seems as though the message was heard and that there is a serious intention to increase support to athletes.
Okay.
And that's the feedback I'm getting. At least that's what everyone's saying. We also have a new CEO, and he comes from the pro world.
Right.
Golfers make a lot of money. And so for him, the CEO's Kevin Ring. For him, it's just, that's the way it is. This is what you do.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that the intention's there. So I think this is something that can grow over time. It could be at a different place by the next quad.
Definitely. I think the main thing that I really appreciate from Kevin and from Greg is the initiative that they're taking. Like they're actually really getting the ball rolling and they're showing that they're working really tirelessly. And so I think like we're watching them in real time, like getting their hands dirty and trying to make solutions, which I really appreciate.
Do you who you interface with? Probably Greg a whole lot more.
Greg, but I had a conversation with Kevin back in the fall, I believe, and I really appreciated that. He reached out to me. He got my number. I don't remember who he got it from, maybe even Greg, and we text from time to time. And when I saw him at World Cup and US Open and at the Tier Pro, he finds me and says hello to me and chit chats with me. So I really appreciate both of them. But yeah, I do communicate with Greg more just because I have a more longstanding relationship with him. But I've been very impressed with Kevin. It
matters. You have to be in people's faces and say hello.
Yes, and be personable. Yeah,
and yes, and because if you feel that, then you can you want to feel comfortable enough in a friendship and in a relationship where you can say, "Hey, I'm not happy about something, and I want to tell you."
Definitely, and I think something that I don't feel happy about is kind of changing the subject, but not really. Is when the USOPC announced that they won't allow international swimmers at the OTC anymore. Because it does boil down to a money thing for people like me, I guess, because Bob ships us up there 2 times a year and we get to go for free as US citizens. But then the international swimmers, I believe their federations pay for them to go. So even though they don't get to go and stay for free, it is paid for them just by their federation. And so now there hasn't been any discussion of this yet just because the news broke so early. But I'm assuming that Bob will start taking us somewhere else for altitude training. Like obviously he's not going to split up the international pros and then us US pros. And he has a decent amount of international swimmers on his college team too. So I don't know if then we'll end up going to NAU or some other place with altitude training, but we're going to then have to pay our way, like to go to NAU and to stay in either their dorms or their hotels for 3 weeks. And we'll have to pay for our food for 3 weeks. So it's just like, that's an expense that's going to be added to our plate. And that's a pretty significant expense. And I know that decision was not made by USA Swimming, right? It was made by the USOPC. So I'm not pointing fingers at anyone here, but I think it's just an example of okay, we got that great game with the stipend, but it's shoot, we still have a lot of money that we're going to have to start spending here in the future because they made that decision to not allow it. And I don't understand the decision. I really don't fundamentally understand it. So if you guys have a different opinion on it, I would love to hear about it. But yeah, I don't see who it helps. I just think it hurts. It hurts me. It hurts my teammates, and it hurts anyone else who trains with international swimmers. I don't see the point.
Because there's so much nationalism in the United States right now where it's rah, 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 USA, you're a patriot. And the truth is, a lot of people don't know what that means. They have different definitions of what that means, but it's political, and it's so if you're a foreigner, you're bad, and that's really not America. It's also not the Olympic movement. The Olympic great deal. Yeah, if you're an Olympian, you're you love your international peers. You get close with them. You get intimate. Your friendships. You remember them for a lifetime.
Yeah.
It's political. My understanding on this is that this is for 2028. It's a weird year. It's almost as if the USOPC is trying to placate the Trump administration and the nationalism that their MAGA movement. I don't know. This is my personal feelings, but so they've made it this 1 year, so they could make this press release, and then it's going to go back to normal.
Oh, I thought it was a permanent thing.
Yeah, and I thought it was a permanent thing too, but it's like it's temporary. It's really weird,
and I think that's the effect they might have wanted to have. Like people, maybe again, just riling people up a bit more than they normally would have been if they said explicitly it's only for 1 year.
Yeah.
It felt like BS. It felt like it was something that they could write a press release and make somebody happy.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't make sense. If you're an elite athlete and you're training in elite groups, because of what you just described, Reagan, the common sense is, hey, no, it's good. It's good for us. We have great training partners and they pay. It's a revenue generator for us.
Exactly. That's what I don't get. It's like, it seems like a win-win to me. Like we get good training partners and they pay us. Like I don't understand who gets the short end of the stick here. Like no one does. So yeah, I just feel like the decision damages no one but American citizens. So I don't, yeah.
Well, I'll dig into this and look in the show notes, but I'm almost certain that it's just 1 year, and it really did feel like
we reported that it's just 1 year.
Yeah,
but after the fact, we reported on the press release of like starting in 2028 or like of the 2028 year, this isn't going to happen. But then a spokesperson reached out and was like, no, actually, it's only for 1 year.
Okay.
Like I really think that this,
and it was confusing.
I really think that was done, and the information was presented in a way so that this press release would go out as if this is the way it is.
Okay.
But on the ground, coaches would know, oh, it's just this small window of time when athletes can't go to the training camp. Although I will say this, that's a crucial year to be doing altitude training.
Very.
Yes.
Yeah. We went 3 times before Paris. We went 3 times in 1 year. 4 in 12 months. And so
Bob's like, what? Bob's, that's the way you say that's Bob, because you got to go 23 days, right? How long?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get sick of it there?
Yes. Yes, it's miserable.
That's a lot of time to spend in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, I enjoy Colorado, love the mountains. I love the dry air. Like it's great, but I always get put in a hole, like a training hole. And my resting heart rate never dips below 75. It's terrible.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. No, like, because I think if I wore a Whoop or something, I would freak myself out when I would wake up in the morning and see that my recovery was 0 and my strain is like whatever, some crazy number. But like sometimes, you know, when you can just feel it, like when you feel really breathless, when you're just sitting there eating food. And so I remember I was at sushi one day because I couldn't eat the dining hall food that day. And so I went to sushi and then I was like, I can't even get my fish down. Like I feel awful. I took my pulse and it was 73.
Yeah. That's not right. That's not good. You know?
No, it wasn't. Exactly. So I don't love it there. Maybe that's why I was in such a hole at US Open. Like maybe I just got put in too deep at that camp. I don't know. But yeah.
I'm going to say this. When we went in the 80s, it was the metal barracks that were like a half dome, and they would pump in the heat. It was like either 95 degrees or it was 40 degrees in there. It was terrible. The televisions. Here's the thing. They improved it. They made it better. Still kind of hate it.
Yes. And so I think when we go back in the spring, I'll get an Airbnb with the pro girls. So that'll be more fun.
That sounds nice. What's the food scene like there? Is it like, can you do fun stuff?
Yeah. Downtown Colorado has some really cute, nice restaurants. There's the sushi place that I was talking about. It's called Sushi Row. That place is really good. They have some pretty good steakhouses. The 4 of us girls, when we went in November, we went to this one place. I can't remember what it's called now, of course, but it was just in downtown Colorado Springs. And it was a nice sit-down place. They have this one like little burger joint in downtown Colorado Springs that was on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. It's called Skirted Heifer, and it's really good burgers. And burgers are my favorite food, so it's fun.
It's a good one.
Okay, compare Colorado Springs to Austin in the food scene. No, you haven't done it. You haven't been to the Michelin star restaurants. You didn't go to that list.
Well, okay, so actually, Mel, my birthday's on the 9th. And so I'm celebrating my birthday on the 7th on Saturday. And I don't know if this place is on your list. Did you even send me the list?
I sent it to your dad. Did he send it to you?
Nope.
Dad, you suck.
He took it for himself, I guess. But anyways, we're going to J Prime. If you guys have heard of it or been there.
J Prime?
I haven't.
J Prime is not a Michelin star.
J Prime Steakhouse.
Dang it. Yes, it is a steakhouse.
It's good. Okay. I mean, I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's passable.
It's okay.
Surrounded by Michelin.
Do you have a favorite place in Austin so far to eat?
Yeah, I would have to pull up. I have this app called Belly where I rank all like the restaurants that I go to. Emma Sticklin got everyone on it, and she's like the Belly queen. She's ranked like 500 restaurants probably. Anyways, yeah, it's impressive. But if I search Austin, Texas, I went to Juniper a couple weeks ago. That was really good. I really like Casabianca. Ezov I really like. And then Este I went to recently. Abba I thought was too trendy.
Oh!
Yeah, sorry.
Wait. Makes you feel like my years in LA.
Hold on. You thought it was too trendy, which I think that's a fair critique. But did you like the food?
I did, but I think I was expecting to be like wowed by it. And so then maybe my expectations were fault because people were raving about it. And so I did like it, but I think I expected it to be like the best meal I'd ever had. And so you know how that can then skew your judgment of it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I gave it a fair judgment because my expectations were in the sky.
I like hummus and lamb, but I'm not going to like it that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their hummus and lamb is pretty dang good, though.
Yeah. Oh, and the last place that I've been meaning to go again, I went here like 2 years ago when I first got to Austin, like when I was Airbnb hopping before the Olympics. I went to Uchi, the sushi place, and loved Uchi. I really did. And I didn't get their omakase, but I want to try that when I go back. So
You get Uchi for takeout.
These are
I should do that.
These are good places.
Once you go to Uchi and you're like, I could get this for takeout. That's dumb.
It's a good idea.
It's so dumb. Uchi is loud. That's the one thing I didn't like about it. You go in there, you pack in, and it's super loud.
Yeah, it's tiny.
But it's to me, it's not the best, but it's close to for many years. That was the sushi place, and it still hits.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. You've been eating. I take everything back that I was thinking about you and judging you for. I'm sorry. That was wrong. Shame on me. What?
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Well, sorry, I'm outing myself as an asshole. But I had a question for you that was really important, and I've completely forgotten it. And it was, it was the travel and like just events. On the topic of like events and swimming meets that are exciting or fun. You mentioned, the Fort Lauderdale Pro Swim, now the Fort Lauderdale Open. Is there a meet that you've gone to and you're like, this is amazing. This is great. It's international.
Outside of the U.S.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
No, the answer is no.
I really liked this. Okay. I think honestly, guys, if I go to a place that's really hot, has like hot weather and like feels like summer, then I will be so ecstatic and euphoric that I'll just have a good time no matter what. So I had a really nice time at the Singapore World Cup stop because you know how that pool is kind of like indoor-outdoor vibe. And so the whole time I was warm. Like I can really hate swim meets sometimes because I'm cold all the time. And so I'm just fighting myself mentally the whole time. But there, it's like 90 degrees. And I was getting my tech suit on in a humid little locker room that didn't dip below 90 either, but I was in heaven because I wasn't cold. So I don't know, probably that.
Happiness is determined by whether or not you're hot or cold. This is great information.
Man, it's fair though. It's truly like if you're cold all the time, it's just kind of makes everything real miserable.
It's miserable. And I think that's why I hate cooling down like after meets. And so I never cool down after the last event that I've raced for the weekend. But like in Fort Lauderdale or when I have a meet in Tempe and it's 110 degrees, I'm like, sure, I'll sit in the pool for a half hour and swim up and down. I don't care. And it's because I'm comfortable. Like I'm warm. Yeah. So yeah.
Is the water above 80 or below 80? I know I can touch water and I know if it's like 80 to 80.8 degrees or if it's 78 to like 79.5, I'm bitter. I'm so bitter.
Yeah.
Or I know the difference. Does Texas skew cold or does Texas skew warm?
Texas is sporadic. They're all over the place. I think they skew a bit cold, in my opinion. This morning, the water was 80 point something, and so it was steaming like crazy. I was in heaven. We swam outside. It was like 35 degrees, but I was very happy in the pool. But like 2 weeks ago, we had a morning outdoor practice there, and it was freezing cold, and I was miserable. We were doing this quality set. It was like 8 100s on 4 minutes, all out. And so then I just spent the other 3 minutes sitting at the wall freezing.
Right.
And you guys, I have no shame in telling you how slow I went. Like I was a brick of ice. I was doing backstroke. I was going like 57s. It was pitiful. Like it was absolutely, yes. It was absolute, like it was a monstrosity, but I was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like it was awful. So.
And like, was the point of the set to build lactic, like to not do anything in between?
We had 100 easy in between each one. So I suppose that ended up being a 200 on 4 minutes, but still. Yeah.
Yeah. That's rough.
That sounds rough. So if you had we had to design a Regan Smith meet, if you were gonna be a producer and you were gonna design, you're gonna be the designer of swimming, this whatever it would be, there would be heaters. That's all. That's really what's something I can sink my teeth. Like Regan had heaters.
Or it'd be outdoors, and it would be in the middle of August in the desert. Because even in Florida or something, when there's more humidity in the air, it gets a little bit colder at night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, like when the sun goes down, there's a chill in the air. But like in the desert in the summer, it can be 1 a.m. It'll still be 93 degrees, and that's what I need. That's where I thrive.
USD Swimming has they've been rolling out Block Party, which is basically a college dual meet for club teams.
Okay.
If you could take the Block Party, which I don't know if they're going to keep the name Block Party, maybe they do, but it's basically a college dual meet. If they started rolling that format throughout the season, where maybe Cal pros could race the Texas pros, would that be enough? Would you select those meets where you could go and do it in 2 hours and, come back home? Would that give you what you need racing wise? Would it be more fun? Would it,
if it was a 1-day meet?
Yeah, it's like a dual meet, basically a dual meet for pros.
It would definitely be more fun. I don't know if I would, if it was long course, I was about to say, I don't know if I would take it as seriously, but if it was long course, I think I would. Mm-hmm. I think my only thought is, since the pros in this country are so spread out, like I don't even know if Cal has female pros, right? So it's just like, I think it could be kind of limited from that perspective, but it sounds fun.
What if we created a situation where we always knew, maybe it was a quad meet. Maybe it was just like this was a 2-hour Block Party meet that elites could attend, and it's 50 meters, and it's going to be in Tempe
in the middle of August, right during Pan Pass.
No one else would come.
My question is, if you did that 2 or 3 times a year, you could switch up your events, but would that be enough training wise for you? Is that enough for you to test the jets and go back home?
No, I think I would like a 3-day meet layout just to like break up training a little bit and like work your mind and body in a little bit of a different way. Because even like at this point in the season, like January to March, Bob will have us suit up like almost every single Wednesday, and we'll do either a quality practice or go off the blocks. Like actually, you guys, 2 Wednesdays ago, we did 3 100s off the blocks with like 20 minutes in between, and I did 1 fly, 1 back, and 1 breast. I did 100 breasts off the blocks.
What did you go in the 100 breasts? We're not going to ask you about your other events.
It was yards, and you have to guess.
Guess. Hang on a second.
How good is your pullout?
Not good.
Whoa.
Oh.
It's the best part of my breaststroke, but that's like a relative term.
What, 102?
No, 106?
105.
The computer's going to die. I think I was 104 or 103. Like 104 low, I think. I'm going to say. But it was me, Lindsay, Simone, and Summer. I think Simone won it and went like 00, and then Summer was right behind her. And then Lindsay and I were 2 stragglers in the back, like 8 years behind.
So what you
Simone win a 100 breasts?
Yeah, she can work. She can go.
Why doesn't she swim a 200 IM?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I bet her 100 IM would be amazing.
It's too much. You just moved. What happened?
I got a notification that said my Mac will die, and it was fully charged when we started this interview, mind you. So my battery sucks.
We've held you a long time.
That's all right. I enjoy it.
Okay, I have I don't know if we're wrapping up, but I do have a question. Speaking just of events, do you know what you're swimming at Pan Pacs?
No, I don't. I mean, I was about to say I'd assume it would be the usual suspects, but
I think there's like a double or 2.
Yeah, and I mean, the meet's way shorter, but it would be fun to do different things because why not? Like I don't know. I'm just like throwing random things out here, but I don't know if I would decide to do like the 200 IM or the 100 fly or. Like, I don't think I would branch out any further than like those 2 things.
Well, Regan, the 200 IM is the only event on the last day that I think you might do.
Are you kidding?
Well, the other events on day 4, the last day of the meet, are 50 free, 200 breast, and women's 800.
That is so limiting.
That is pretty.
And so I guess that sucks because we'll probably have like 12 of our girls do that if it's only a 4-day meet, and then only 2 of us can go to finals.
Yeah.
And
I guess this might be in the meet info. Sometimes they'll have a B final. One or 2 more of like the Americans, or of that country can go.
That would still be a dogfight.
Yeah.
Like between Phoebe and Tori and myself and like Caroline Bricker if she wanted to. Like I'm sure I'm missing
Alex
like 8 other people.
And,
yeah. Well, I was
Kate,
assuming Alex and Kate would be in the top 2 spots, but
right. Yeah.
When do Pan Packs end? Is it the 3rd or is it it's late?
Yeah, 5th. It's the 12th through the 15th of August.
Late into August.
Yeah.
This is a good year to go on a nice vacation.
Well, it is, but since like it ends so late, I feel like we won't get a super long break after, because then this is another thing. I don't mean to open a whole nother like can of worms of things to talk about, but I am not thrilled about the selection meet for Short Course Worlds. Like I don't see the point of it, to be honest with you. And again, I might be alone in that opinion, but I only want to speak for myself because who knows what other people. But I feel like it puts pressure on me to then want to get in the water very quickly after Pan Pacs ends to prepare for the qualification meet for Short Course Worlds. And I don't know, like, I think maybe I'm bitter too, because I remember the World Championships in Canada in 2016. I thought that I had a decent chance of qualifying for that Short Course Worlds team, but I didn't have an opportunity to because I didn't make the team that summer and there was no qualification meet, so I didn't get to go. But I had a great winter juniors that winter and whatever. But I think that I had a very real chance of qualifying to go. And so, yeah, maybe inside, I'm a little bit bitter now that people have the opportunity that I didn't have when I was younger. So that's my take on it.
I love this confession of bitterness always from athletes.
I'll always be honest, right? Like
I love it. But it's like, hey, I just want you to know I'm still keeping score. It's like should have gone.
Of course.
I love that.
The real answer is we should have had this 10 plus years ago.
Yeah, maybe that's more fair to say. Yeah.
A lot of coaches are sending me messages and they are angry. They want SwimSwam to create an editorial and take the editorial position of you're putting in our this hard training block, you're creating a scenario where everyone's going to have to taper, when they should be building the base and paying the bank. And I'm like, that's not the way we operate. We can't take an editorial position. Someone else can editorially say that on SwimSwam and they can do it, but we can't. We have to just react to how people are feeling on this. So you're in line with a lot of elite coaches that we're hearing from, and they're applying pressure on us to be vocal about this.
Yeah.
For that specific reason.
So it's really interesting though, because I would think that the World Cup will happen again, and it's happening. It's the Silk Road World Cup this year. So it's happening in East Asia. I believe it's or Eastern Europe / Asia. So Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and one other one, but
Azerbaijan,
exactly. But so like I'm like, well, if people go and swim at the World Cup, could that count as well? Like, could if a time you put at a World Cup is top 2, could that be an auto qualification? Which, like, especially for the first year of doing a trials like this, that seems like it would be a compromise to me, but perhaps not.
Yeah, I feel like I just have no idea how they're going to play it. And I feel like I've heard some talk of people just wanting to forego World Championships and just do the World Cups instead. I don't really want to do that. I was excited to go to China, but I was hoping to be able to just do nothing but train all fall. And like I said at the beginning of the interview, I know that I'm fairly good at being able to go fast in season unrested. But I don't know, still, like, it's just, I know, I mean, everyone's going to be ready, and short courses is just a completely different game. It's just, I don't know. It changes things a lot, and it's just something to get used to. I don't know.
I don't know this. I'm how do I say this? This is going to make sense. USA Swimming is in a position where they need to create events that are built and produced for entertainment and to attract an audience. This feels like the type of platform and moment and opportunity to create that type of product through the USA Swimming lens. It is a world championship trials, and it's a scaled down 25-meter pool. So it's, they can do some creative things and try some things. Knowing that, I don't know if that's the case. No one's told me that. I'm assuming that is potentially the case. If it were the case, does that have any bearing on how you feel about the event? Do you feel like God, USA Swimming's trying to roll off a highly produced event? Maybe I should participate in this.
I would see then where they're coming from, but I think we can't sacrifice performance for like marketability and wow factor. And I think that's sometimes a gripe that I can have with like Olympic trials, for example. Like, I think Olympic trials is great. It's such a spectacle. And as a spectator, it's so fun to watch. But as a swimmer, I think it's really brutal to go through prelims, semis, finals, 2 meets in one summer. And I believe we're the only federation that has to do that. And so, yeah, I can just have a lot of struggles with, like, as the athlete, I'm like, gosh, you're putting us through the ringer just because it's more fun to watch. But then on the other side, I understand, like, we want swimming to be more fun to watch because we need more people to watch it because we need to generate more revenue so that our swimmers can swim for longer. But I just think that there can be a way to make the meets that we already do have more enticing and more fun to watch, and have maybe higher stakes and like more fun prizes and just like different things that we could try to do. And we don't need to like add more meets on top of it or like add semifinals to tier pros are. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know.
I think it's funny you say that because are semifinals viewer friendly? I might argue no.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I know, Mel, that they add more TV time. I know that they add time to the meet, which is technically viewer friendly, but I don't like semis.
But then what we're hearing from our Olympic star is you can engineer entertainment, but we should also be engineered around performance. What is going to be our performance overall during the year? You should be able to meet those two goals.
Yeah,
I agree with you. You should be able to meet those two goals. You should be able to. If I find out from elite athletes like, hey, emotionally, physically, it's too much, I'm like, drop semis at trials. Drop them. That's okay. No one's going to remember if we win more medals or our medals are a different color at the Olympics.
Yeah.
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 It's a lot. And
that is brutal. How long does it take for you to recover from? And there's really also, you finish trials and like, what kind of, you're right into training camp. It just seems like the emotional burn that summer, it seems like it's just a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to sit here like throwing a pity party for myself or anything and being like, oh, we had it so much harder than everyone else. But like, yeah, when you look at it from like a factual perspective, yeah, you're just in a pressure cooker from June 15th until August 3rd with a little bit of euphoria if you make the team on like June 23rd or so, like where you're like, oh my God, I can take a deep breath. And then it's like, okay, like now straight back to training. We have to hop on a plane, go to North Carolina, go to Croatia. Like, so yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot on your nervous system. It's a lot on you physically. It's really hard on your immune system. Like it's just a lot. And then, yeah, I can just sometimes get bitter than looking at other countries who have a 4-day like prelims, finals, trials, where the best swimmers from that country get to add 15 seconds on their best time in the morning. And then, so yeah, this is me completely talking again from a bitter standpoint. Like, I'm jealous. I wish we could do that too. It's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I have so many thoughts about it.
We're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, we are.
Keep your powder dry for the big moment and keep that always in the back of your mind. We didn't do semis in my day. They did semis in the 70s. They stopped in the 80s and the 90s. And then when I heard we went back to semis, I'm like, why are we having semis? And someone said immediately, more TV time.
Yeah.
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 That's a lot.
It is.
You'll have a 9-day meet.
I think if they replaced semifinals with like exhibition swims from retired Olympians or celebrities, it would add way more value than semifinals.
That could be really fun. Yeah, I would like that, I think. But also, like, and again, I'm thinking from like a spectator standpoint. Olympic trials was like one of the best meets of my career, right? Like 2024 trials was. And I think as a spectator, like I like watching my races. I think it's fun to go back and look. And I do have a lot of fun going back and like looking at the progression of like my prelims to semis to finals, 100 backstroke, or like looking at my double where I had the 2 back semi and the 2 fly final and like how I managed that, whatever else. Like, so yeah, I get it. Like I really do. And so I think that's why I'm like, yeah, like I just, like you said, Mel, I feel like we just kind of are shooting ourselves in the foot with this because we'll complain about it, but then I see we
don't. We have a fall off between our trials and our Olympics. There's always casualties.
Yeah.
There's always sacrifice for performance. And, but you're with Bowman, and Bowman has the most successful managing athletes going from a trials to an Olympic stage. He has the best success.
Yeah.
So it seems like a lot. But the interesting thing is that I'm hearing from you, because I asked that original question about short course world championship trials, right, and thinking through the lens of, I think this is USA Swimming trying to platform an event to be creative that they own. And your response was, hey, unless it's it should work for my performance and my training overall, and it should be entertaining.
Yeah.
Obviously, something. It's like, why wouldn't they just have this trials meet? I don't know how to manage that. I don't know how you would manage it. What if they did it a week before?
That would piss me off so much. Yeah.
That's just another that becomes a 2-week swimming meet.
Yes. And it's like, do I pack for China? What if I pack for China and then I miss the team? How sad is that? I have to go home with my giant full suitcase. Like, darn, that's sad.
I mean, didn't at trials at some point, like they would tell you, yeah, pack as if you're making the team?
Yep. They did that for Pan Pacs in 2018 because we had to go straight from Irvine to Dana Point and then to Japan. And they were like, yep, pack as if, be prepared. And then you're like, great. Okay, so I'm planning for a trip to Japan. And what if I don't go to Japan? Like, that is sad. Like, it's hard mentally.
In 2018, our turnaround was way too tight too, wasn't it? And
it was a disaster.
You suffered badly.
Yeah. And I was so young and naive. Like, I was just kind of along for the ride, and I didn't realize how bad everything truly was until I got older and was able to look back on it. Or I would hear like stories about how terrible it was from Simone or other teammates. But yeah, going through it, I didn't have a problem with it because I didn't have like any experience really. So
yeah,
it's great. It's so good to be young.
Yeah.
Just not know.
Yep.
I'm on the national team. Yeah.
Great.
All right. Have we missed anything? We've held you for a long time.
I feel like this is probably pretty good.
Perfect.
No, nothing's left. Is there anything we didn't cover? Anything maybe you're like, I'm burning to say this?
I don't think so. Honestly, I think I said what I wanted to say. I wanted to touch on, I was thinking about it at practice this morning. I wanted to touch on the USOPCs not letting international swimmers, and I wanted to touch on short course trials. So, yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys.